Good day, everyone. I am Angela Macasling. I am from Group 5 from the Grade 11 St. Elizabeth. So today, I am going to discuss about the intercultural communications. So the question is, what is an intercultural communications? Intercultural communications is the exchange of information between people from different cultural backgrounds, and it also involves in differences of language, values, behaviors, and communication styles to avoid misunderstandings and to build an effective relationships. So there are 5 ways in order for us to do the intercultural communications. First is active listening. Active listening is the way of listening that understands the other people of what they are talking about so that we can understand their ideas and opinions. Second is cultural sensitivity. Cultural sensitivity is the knowledge, awareness, and acceptance of different cultures. So we should do this in communicating others so that we can aware of their cultural differences, and as well as we can also respect their differences in our cultures. And the third is using simple language. So using simple language is helping us to have a clear communications. So we in communicating others, we should not use any slang words or anything, but instead we should use a simple language so that they can understand us very well by in a simple words. And fourth is respectful address. So of course, when we communicate others, we should respect them, and we should call them in a respective manner in accordance with their level. So if I, example, I am talking to an older woman, then I should address her as or Lola, ate, or something like that. And if I am talking to someone older men, then I should address them as kuya or lolo. And if I am addressing an elder but not too old, then I will call them ate. And as well as if I am addressing a big brother but not too old, then I will call him kuya. That is as simple as that. And the fifth is, of course, patience in communication. So having patience in communications allows to build a more positive team cultures and makes it easier for us to trust them and to trust with others with respect and listen to their ideas. So of course, if we are communicating others, we should have patience in talking with them so that we can have a peace and we can also understand the ideas in order for us to have an effect relationship. So in order for us to communicate others very well, we should respect their differences in cultures and languages, and as well as they should also respect our differences in cultures and language so that we can communicate very well.
What is intercultural communication? Intercultural communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, and feelings between people from different cultural backgrounds. Intercultural communication happens when people from different culture or background talks to each other. Some people think this only happens when we are talking with foreigners, but that is not true because even people from the same country, like in the Philippines, can have different language, traditions, and belief. That's why it is considered as intercultural communication. For example, a Bisaya student like me talks with a classmate who is Tagalog. We have different language, so we have to adjust how we speak. Another example, a Muslim and a Christian talks about their belief. That's also considered as intercultural communication. So, intercultural communication doesn't always mean with foreigners. It can also happen here in the Philippines. Like someone from Visayas talks with someone from Luzon. or when two people from different religions communicate. That is intercultural communication.
Good day, everyone. So today I will be discussing about the common problems in intercultural communication. So today we meet and talk with people from different cultures and beliefs. That's why we need to communicate with respect and understanding. But sometimes there are some problems that can cause misunderstanding and disrespect. So these problems include bigotry, fanaticism, and dogmatism. First problem is bigotry. A bigot is someone who has unfair and strong negative opinion toward people who are different, especially in race, religion, or culture. They treat others hatred and intolerance. For example, all Muslims are bad, without even knowing or understanding them. That is a bigotry person. Isag wala siya kaila, iyan nag-judge ang group based sa stereotype. Second is fanaticism. A fanatic is someone who strongly supports a person or beliefs. For example, a person defends their favorite leader no matter what. Even if there's proof that the leader did something wrong, they still believe that their leader is always right. Lastly, dogmatism. A dogmatic person believes that their opinion or beliefs are correct one, and they force it into others. They don't accept other sides or new ideas. For example, someone says only our religion is always right, and if you don't believe it, you are wrong. They don't allow respectful discussions, they just insist on being right. To avoid these problems, we must use politically correct language. This means we choose our words carefully and avoid saying things that might hurt or insult others. That's all.
Good day, everyone. Today, I will be discussing the tips when communicating with foreigners. The first tip is to demonstrate your willingness to talk to them by learning some few phrases in their language. Phrases as good evening, good morning, or thank you will go a long way, which means when you learn and use even just a few basic phrases in someone else's language, it shows respect and having an interest in their culture, showing that you are willing to connect or to communicate with them. Example, when a Spanish tourist say, Buenos dias, welcome to the Philippines. It means in our language, good morning, welcome to the Philippines. And when a Japanese customer enters your store, greet them with Ohayo gozaimasu, which also means good morning. And when French traveler helps you to take a photo, say merci, which means thank you. How it helps? It helps to build connection and trust using simple phrases in their language. Makes them or makes the other person feel respected and welcome. Second tips when communicating with foreigners is to talk to people who know the culture about common traps and problems when communicating with foreigners. So, which means when you're going to interact with foreigners, it's helpful to ask advice from the people who are familiar with their culture, such as the travelers, exchange students, foreign language teachers, and also the locals who have worked or studied abroad. These people may help you to avoid common mistakes or common traps when communicating or in communication. And you learn how to act or speak appropriately to show respect. This saves you from misunderstandings and help you to become a more confident and respectful communicator. Example, talking to a teacher who studied abroad. So, the scenario is you're about to meet an Australian guest. So what to do? You must talk to an English teacher who studied in Australia. What you learn? You learn that Australians value informality, may call the teachers by their first name. But that's not disrespectful. So what you learn? You do not get offended and you know how to respond casually and respectfully.